This is another episode of Rig Recon Live. If you haven't already, make sure you follow us on social media at Rig Recon on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure you find this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. You can even watch it on YouTube. And then most importantly, visit our website, rigrecon.com. I'm Bruce Quick alongside Jason Whitmire. And today we're joined by Drew Newman of Will-Burt. He's been with Will-Burt for 13 years and serves as the director of lighting sales. Make sure you listen all the way through the podcast because towards the end we have an exciting announcement as well. But without further ado, Drew, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. And Jason, I'll let you kick it off.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks a lot for joining me, Drew. So we've done a lot of work together in the industry over the years, and I know that Will-Burt does a lot of exciting things. For those of us, it's Rig Recon. So for those of us in the fire service industry, we mostly know Will-Burt for the light towers. But I know Will-Burt does a lot more than just that. I know you're involved in some military things. I know you've got some other products. If you want to go ahead and just give us a background on your experience in the industry and what all it is that Will-Burt has to offer the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So Will-Burt's been in business since 1918. Actually, we were incorporated in 1918. We've been in business longer than that. So well over 100 years. In the last 40 or so years, we've been employee owned. So we're 100% employee owned. We're an ESOP company. And although we do many different things, and I'm a part of the mast side of the business, we are the world leader in telescoping masts. Our primary markets being defense, cellular, broadcast, energy, and of course, first responder. But like you said, the U.S. fire market knows us primarily for our light towers and being scene lighting experts and our portable lighting as well.
Drew, let's talk about light towers a little bit because I think that's a big part of what you guys do. So for the end user, what type of vehicle or apparatus would you put a light tower on?
Sure. Yeah. So primarily we're putting light towers on rescues and mobile command vehicles. But with the evolution of lighting and 12 volt lighting becoming more and more popular, we're really able to put a light tower on any vehicle. So anything from a small SUV up to a big mobile command vehicle or a big trailer, we kind of have something for everybody.
So just elaborate on that a little bit. I know that you've put some light towers into some unique spots. So like on pumpers, a vertical mast down through a pump house versus the tower that sits on a large footprint on top of the truck. Different applications like that where you've seen some maybe unique uses that people might not think about.
Yeah, we've done all of those. We put them in coffins with the lid and it opens up and they're tucked away that you don't even see them. A lot of people don't think about putting light towers on aerials, but we've done that from time to time as well. So yeah, we have multiple different light towers that have different footprints, and we're kind of able to work with the OEMs and make something work.
So one of the things in the industry, we just did a podcast. Well, one of our first podcasts we did was on lighting, and hopefully everyone got a chance to watch and review that one because we really dove into the difference between raw lumens and effective lumens and light patterns and how it works. But we were mostly coming from the concept of something on a tripod or fixed on the side of your vehicle, surface mounted. Things like raw lumens and effective lumens, they're still going to play in on a light tower. So that doesn't go away. But there are other considerations on a light tower. Things like the head size, the weight, and the power draw. Do you want to go ahead, Drew, and just let us know when you're configuring a tower or when someone's speccing a tower, what are some of the things that you have to consider and what are some of the things that they need to consider?
Yeah, absolutely. You hit on a lot of those. So weight can be an issue from time to time. We have light towers that weigh as little as about 80 pounds. So you can kind of mount that on anything. But that's gonna play a role. A big decision a lot of times is whether or not you want a light tower mounted on the roof, it folds down, or if you want a vertical that just goes straight up and down. Typically that's a space thing, right? You have space to run a vertical mast through the body of your your apparatus. But typically people want to get their light tower as high in the air as possible, right? So if you think of when you're driving to work and the sun's coming up and the sun's right in your face, it's hard to see. And that can be the situation on a fire ground when the surface mounted sea lights that could be in your eyes. So you want something up in the air, more like the sun at noon, right? So the higher the mast is and the lights are in the air, the less you're going to have that light right in your face, and it's more usable light on the ground. So those are some things that you definitely want to take into consideration. You want to think about what type of apparatus is going on and how you're using this apparatus, because that'll determine how much area you want to light up. So based on the size of the area you're looking to light up, you may be limited on the towers that you can choose. So our smaller light towers, you can only put 2 or 4 lights on, and then when you get to the bigger towers, you can put 6 lights or bigger light packages that put out more lumens to light up a bigger area. So
Right.
so those are some of the things that you got to think about. I know there's been a big push for 12 volt, and that's been great. We've made a lot of strides in the industry with that. But there is an amp draw that comes along with 12 volt. So yes, we can do it on our end, but you have to take that into consideration. How many amps you have to play around with, I guess.
I think what some people lose sight on, and it's probably a great educational thing here without getting an electrical engineering degree for everyone, 12 volt, there's more power drop over the length of the wire. So for a 12 volt mast, you need a much larger cable to carry that power than you do for 120 volt, correct?
Correct. That is correct.
How about your vertical masts? What's the highest that you do with lighting on it?
Yeah, so we go up to a 30-foot vertical. I would say our sweet spot for verticals, most people are fine with about a 20-foot, but we have people that like to get as high in the air. I mean, the other thing to consider is it's kind of like a flashlight. If you hold a flashlight close to the ground, the light's going to be intense. And the higher you raise that flashlight away from the ground, it'll kind of dissipate the light a little bit. So there is a point to where it's too high, and that's why we don't go over 30 feet, because then you start to lose some of that effectiveness of the lighting. But we do go up to 30 feet. The sweet spot usually is our 20-foot mast. No.
And the other thing for someone to consider is that you're talking how tall the mast can go. The base of that mast is typically mounted at a minimum at the bottom of the frame rails, which are about 24 inches off the ground. So now you're adding 2 more feet to that height. So it's something to consider.
Yep, correct.
How about your electric, the fold down style that go on top of a truck? How tall do those go?
Yeah, so we have a light tower called the Night Scan Extreme, and you can get that up to 25 feet. But to your point, when you're putting that thing on top of a rig that's already 10, 12 feet off the ground or so, now you're really high up in the air. So we don't really sell a lot of those. It's more the 15-foot power light. That is a very common roof mounted light tower that you can get the biggest and brightest light package on.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we recently released a podcast on cold weather operations. So I'm curious, does ice and or cold temperatures affect the operation of the light tower, or are there any special operating parameters you should be aware of?
Yeah, so at some point, cold weather is going to affect almost everything, right? So
Right.
For our towers, they can operate in down to negative 22 degrees. But we do have some other options. So we offer a sleeve that you can put on the outside of the mast that will protect it from ice buildup, and not just cold weather. You got to think of desert, sand, things like that. So in some extreme environments, we will put on a sleeve on the outside of the mast to just kind of protect the mast. But if you check out our website, we have videos of our light towers busting through quarter inches of ice and things like that. So we typically don't have many issues, but there gets to be a point where it's just cold and
Right.
things don't work. So and that point for us is about negative 20 degrees.
And I've experienced it before where a vertical mast is up in the air and we're on a fire ground. Not only are we worried about the outside conditions, but we're spraying water all around. So if it's cold, it's below freezing, and we're spraying a deck gun and there's a mist blowing back on there, it can freeze up on the tower. It doesn't mean the tower is not going to work, but those lights give up heat. So one of the things that I've seen from firsthand experience is if you aim those heads straight down, they're going to put a little bit of heat on that mast that's going to help break up some of that ice.
Mhm.
So one of the things when we like to talk a lot on Rig Recon about tips, tricks, things to look out for, ways to spec a truck to get what you want. It's one thing to say, I want a light tower and I want it to be X lumens bright and then leave it at that. Well, you're leaving a lot into interpretation then. So then the OEM who's building that truck for you, he's looking at it and he's going, well, they didn't really say whether they wanted vertical or if they wanted one that sits on top of the truck. They didn't say if they want any special features on it. What are some of the things that you suggest to a fire department to make sure they specifically call out when they're speccing their tower?
Call us. So no, so but seriously, you're 100% right. We hear that all the time. Oh yeah, we spec the light tower. I don't know. We just told them we wanted a light tower, so there's a lot of different things that are involved with a light tower. Yeah, I mean, they're all are similar, right? But you have to think about some of the things I talked about before, the height, how high do you want this thing to go? What kind of area do you want to illuminate? What kind of voltage are you going to, is there a generator on the truck or not? Are you going to go to 12 volt? And do you want dual tilt, which is where you can flip one bank of our lights and flip it around the other way, and you can effectively light up almost a 360-degree area. So that's an option for many of our towers. Do you want a beacon? We can put beacons on top of the light tower. Do you want a camera? We put lots of cameras, thermal cameras, or just high def cameras, just to be able to view the scene. Antennas are something we do more and more of. People are looking to add antennas to our light towers for communications, get better reception in the area. So mast is already in the air. Why not throw an antenna on it? So those are some of the things that come to mind right away. We have questions about our controllers from time to time. Most people don't think about the controller, but there are three options for controllers. You can go with our standard wired controller that you have a long tether. You can have the panel mount controller that's going to be fixed, or we have a wireless controller that actually comes with the option to add a tethered wire as well. So that's something you got to consider too. I talked to a lot of chiefs and they don't like the idea of wireless because they're concerned that their guys are going to lose that controller, but that's why we have the tethered backup with that system as well. So those are some of the things that you'll want to consider. Space. Are you willing to give up space inside the body of the apparatus for a vertical, or do you just want to go with a roof mount? And even when you're talking about a roof mount, there are a lot of departments out there that they have tight clearances getting their trucks in and out. So you need to make sure that if you're adding another 11, 12, 13 inches on top of the cab, that you're not going to have any clearance issues. So those are some of the things you'd want to consider.
You touched on something at the very beginning of this question that I don't want to gloss over when you said call us.
Yes.
You've got a robust sales staff out there,
Mhm.
and they've got demo vehicles loaded up with lighting and with towers. Just touch quickly on what's out there so these fire departments know that if they want to see, and we're in a touchy-feely type of
Mhm.
organization, if they want someone to come to their fire department and light it up at night and show them the options, what you have to offer.
Yeah, so we have 6 outside sales guys, dedicated full-time guys with demo trucks. They all have light towers on them with different light fixtures from different manufacturers so you can compare and contrast what you like. A couple of different models on all the trucks. They'd be more than happy to come out and do a demo. We can show you pictures or talk to you about lumens until we're blue in the face, but until you get your hands on it and you see it at night, that's the best way to figure out what you really want and what you need. And then, my guys, they do this every day, so they're really good about looking at the apparatus that you have if you're looking to retro it, because that's an option. Or if it's for a new spec, they can take a look at which truck you're looking to put this on and give you suggestions on what would fit properly on that apparatus, and really help guide you so you're not kind of just saying, oh, I'll just take a light tower and just throw one on there.
Yeah, and when it comes to demos, I guess for the end user perspective, what are maybe, in your opinion, some specific things that they should be looking for when they're getting a lighting demo, or maybe key questions they should be asking?
Yeah. So, a big thing that people want to know about and is very important is warranty, right? So warranty is something you'll definitely want to talk about. Some of the different lights that we offer on our towers have different warranties. Over the past few years, lifetime warranty has been a thing that a lot of people have been gravitating towards for obvious reasons, which most of our lights have lifetime warranties on them now. But you want to talk about the warranty of the tower and what's covered under that warranty. And some of the other options, right? So one thing that I failed to mention was we offer our light towers in black as well. So most people see our standard anodized aluminum light tower, but you can get the whole thing in black, and black over whatever color has been very popular in the last few years. Black over red, black over yellow, whatever. So if you want this thing to kind of blend in and just be a part of the roof of the apparatus, black is a great option to add, and we can do that very easily. So just talking to your rep in your area about some of those different options and explain to them how you plan on using this apparatus and when you're going to be using the light tower, that'll help them guide you into the right solution for your apparatus.
Yeah, so I want to shift the focus now to maybe some exciting news, and I'm going to let you two kind of talk us through it here. But Will-Burt and FRC are announcing a partnership together. And for those who don't know, FRC, Fire Research Corp, manufactures LED scene lighting. So I think it's really going to be beneficial. But without giving too much away, Drew, I'll let you walk through the Will-Burt side of it first. And then Jason, you can follow up with the FRC side.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So this is really exciting for us. We've had a long history working with FRC for many years, long before I was a part of this organization, and we've always had an excellent relationship. And now we're just taking it to the next level. So we, moving forward, will be a stocking master distributor for all of FRC's lighting products. So as I've mentioned before, we consider ourselves the lighting experts in the industry for white light and scene lighting. And this adds to our portfolio now. We have a full range of portable lights and surface mounted fixed scene lights and everything that FRC has to offer, now partnered with our light towers and what we offer in that aspect. So partnering with them is just a perfect fit for us. And I think we have a lot to offer, and FRC has a long history and tradition of producing great products, just like Will-Burt. So we're really excited about joining up and taking it to the next level of our partnership.
We're extremely excited as well. From the FRC side, like I'll touch just basically on what Drew said. We've worked hand in hand for years. We designed some specific lights for the tower because it's simple to just take the lights we already make and say, okay, Will-Burt, here you go, make it fit on your tower. So we've worked together over the years to engineer that light to fit on there better, make it a more compact space, maybe give it more lighting because, like Drew said, that light on the side of the rig, 22,000 lumens, that's a lot. on the side of a rig in someone's eyes. But when it's up in the air, 22,000 might not be enough. So we've worked on that. Now, the benefits that this is going to bring to the industry, it's a couple things. Number one is we've got our sales staff out there who have lighting on their trucks who are showing it off. But now we've got this additional staff with all of these lighting experts from Will-Burt. They're showing you the tower, and now they can show you the other FRC surface mounted and portable and things like that. The bigger thing for the industry is Will-Burt's going to have some stock. They're going to have the most popular product in stock. So when you need it quick, it's going to be available for you to get there right away. And we're just going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to work as a team and build more product that is specific and that works for the industry to get the right thing out there. Something important I think we should point out. They're a master distributor. This is a great partnership. It doesn't mean that you'll only be able to get a Will-Burt tower with an FRC light. As much as from an FRC standpoint, we'd love to say that, that's not the way this works in the industry. You have choices, you have options, and Will-Burt will continue to offer the other lights on their towers. So I didn't want to take that away from you, Drew.
No, that's fine. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, and so speaking, we talked a little bit about the demo trucks that you guys have and how robust they are. So if someone hears this and they're interested in getting a demo, what is the best way to do that?
Yeah, I would say just hop on our website. We have a map of the United States, and it shows which sales guys cover which territory. There's a quick little video of each of them kind of introducing themselves. It has their phone number and email. Reach out to your local rep, and they'll schedule a time to come out and do a demo. They love doing demos. These guys love being in the firehouses and showing off the product. And it's fun, it's fun stuff. You get to get your hands on it and play with it. So, try it before you buy it,
True. One of the last things, I think we touched a lot of the spec stuff already, so I'm not going to ask you for tips and tricks because I think we've hit on most of that. But how about safety? We know that firefighters are in a high stress environment. Stuff goes wrong. Sometimes you can do things wrong. So a great example, 2 or 3 things that I know you can help people with. One would be if I've got a vertical mast and I've got it nested, I don't want to spin them heads into the body. So I believe you've got technology to prevent me from doing that. Or I don't want to lower the heads down to where they're going to hit the body and snap off. The second one would be, you mentioned putting it in a coffin compartment. So obviously there's that threat that someone doesn't raise the lid in the coffin compartment and now they raise the light, if you want to talk about that a little. And the third one would be power lines. In the fire service industry, especially with aerial devices, we're always worried about power lines. So what type of technology is out there to make sure we don't raise this into a power line and electrocute ourselves?
Yep. All good points. So I'll start with the first one. Yes, we have technology built in that will not allow you to crash your vertical tower into the side of your apparatus. So the mast has to be raised to a certain point before it's able to be panned or tilted. So that won't allow that to happen. When it comes to something that's down in a coffin, same thing. There is technology built into the light tower itself that will not allow it to come up until that coffin door is raised. So you won't have to worry about those types of things happening. And then lastly, the power lines. So we do have a detect system that you can add to the light tower that will prevent the mast from going up into a power line. And I have photographic evidence on my phone, if anyone ever wants to see, of what it looks like when a mast goes into a power line, and it's not pretty. So we do have that available. That option is available. It's called the detect system, and you can add that to any of our light towers or vertical masts to prevent that from happening.
Awesome.
Yeah, so as we get ready to wrap up, I usually open up the floor for any final comments, any things that we missed. And then, Drew, if there's anything else that you wanted to promote about Will-Burt, this would be a great time to do so.
Yeah, no, I think I want to thank you for having me. This has been great. I love talking about Will-Burt and light towers and all the things that we do. We do have the sales guys out there, so I'll just encourage people to reach out to them. They'll help you with whatever it is that you need. And I'm looking forward to partnership expanding and taking it to the next level. So really looking forward to the future.
I'll just final comments here, Bruce, from me. Drew touched on the fact that you can add all these options to light towers, and he mentioned that they do other towers. So we see these big communication vehicles, we see these large command vehicles. Don't lose sight on the fact that they don't only do light towers. They do the vertical mast for things like thermal cameras, where it's just a thermal camera up there, or a scene camera on a big command vehicle where you want to put a nice large camera that can pan, tilt, and zoom to see your scene. Those things are available as well, which are all awesome. And we could do a whole nother podcast on just the features of that, but just keep in mind they are out there.
Yeah, that's great. So this wraps up another episode of Rig Recon Live. Again, if you haven't already, follow us on social media at Rig Recon on Facebook and Instagram. Catch up on all the latest episodes wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. And then more importantly, visit our website, rigrecon.com. Until then, spec the best.